So just to be totally real with you guys, I just wanted to show you what my current studio is. It's this gaming laptop here. This is a 17-inch. Nothing custom about it. I bought it used on Amazon. And the only thing that's coming out of that is a 4 terabyte hard drive, which holds a bunch of stuff, samples, stuff that has nothing to do with music, just old pictures and stuff. I just keep that plugged in. So, and if anybody looks up the specs on this, this has obviously a regular hard drive for storage, basically one of those in here, except it's 1 terabyte. This is 4 terabytes. And then it also has obviously the startup disk with the operating system on it. And a pair of headphones. A pair of old Audio Technica super well loved headphones. MIDI keyboard because I'm learning how to play piano, but that's not even hooked up. Most days I don't even use that. And that's it. That's it. I'm right up against a wall in my kitchen. And then usually what I'll do just to check the mix to be safe, I don't always necessarily need to, but just to check it to be safe, I bring it over to what my current studio setup is. It's a mess right now because I'm in the middle of changing houses. So I go to Florida for the winter like a bird does. So just the Yamaha HS80s, and that's powered through my PreSonus audio box. I've got my classic Shure microphone right here, and a gaming tower. That's it. Yamaha HS80 gaming tower, basic studio mic, and my audio box, and a big screen TV. And the audio box is about to record a DJ mix if I can ever get it set up, but I have so much going on. But that's just so you guys can see kind of in a way, it's a really elaborate setup for a home studio. You know, you've got a gaming laptop over here, you've got a gaming tower over there, you've got Yamaha HS80s, which are standard, and you've got Audio Technica headphones, which are standard as well. But that thing can handle humongous sessions because it's completely a maxed out gaming tower. This thing does pretty good, and is what I use most of the time. So really that thing actually, I hate to say this, but I built it first, and then right after that I was right at kind of the crest of becoming a great producer. So I built that and then had a major breakthrough with production, found my style, found my sound, and I didn't see it coming, but I just broke open the doors of going from a good producer that isn't that confident to a good producer that is confident. So I built that. I just don't need it as much as I used to. I thought that I needed that, and that was kind of the answer to my problems. It really wasn't. Plugins weren't the answer to my problems. The answer to my problems was clarity and more practice. Stopping the journey of trying to sound like everyone else and just realizing I have all the knowledge of audio gear. I have all the knowledge of basic, advanced music production. So what I mean by that is it's not that I know every trick in the book, because I don't, but I know a lot of them. So basic, advanced music production. And all I needed to do was put that into practice and block out the noise of everybody saying things like, you know, so-and-so's music is so layered or so thick or so this or that. I downloaded so-and-so's music, loaded their tracks into my sessions, A-B'd it with mine, found that I was in the ballpark. I wasn't hung up on getting right down to them at home plate, but, you know, most of the time on the field, but definitely always at the very least in the ballpark. And that was it. And so really all I needed was a pair of headphones and a laptop to do that. You know, I just so happen to have already owned that. It's just that I'm so mobile, really this works better for me. But it is nice to have that as a backup, because that backup is a beast. It can handle just about anything. And if my style should ever change to something a lot more technical, not technical, but just hefty, this thing might struggle. That thing won't even blink an eye. I'll be able to do any kind of session I want on that thing. But more so, what it's about, guys, isn't having two computers. It's more so about having two common, dependable sources to check your mixes on. So, headphones to always mix on and produce on. That's what I use 99.9% of the time. And then I go over to my HS80s and check my mix on there. But understand that those HS80s are only on for probably about 15 minutes when I check my mix. So maybe 15 minutes a month they're on. These things are used every day. I check my mix on the HS80s. If there's anything wrong with the mix, I come back into this machine and I adjust it. I listen to how that adjustment sounds on these headphones, which is a huge thing right there. That's key. I listen to how the adjustment I made to my session based on what I heard from the HS80s, because I thought I had a good mix with these. So I thought it was good here, sounded a little bit funky there, came back into here, adjusted it as needed. So let's say like here, something sounded okay in the mix. There, it's barely audible and getting lost in the mix. Here, I come back in and average that out and more or less adjust it to how I think it should be, based on what I've heard and what the speakers have, the information the speakers have given me. I listen to how that sounds in here and make a mental note for next time so I don't have to go back and forth again. Hear how these interact with HS80s and how the adjustment sounds here now. Export it, listen to it over there. It's usually about where it should be then at that point, and it's good. It sounds good here. It sounds good there. It's about where it should be, so I call it a done day, and that's it. I upload it, and then you guys get to listen. So that's basically the setup and the process. It's nothing too over the board. You don't need a gaming tower like over there. All I'm saying is it may not be a bad idea to have a pair of headphones and a pair of Yamaha HS80s. Those HS80s could very well be set up right here. Just like that, 1 and 2 right there. So I mix on my headphones and produce on my headphones 90% of the time, 99% of the time. And when I'm done, I unplug the headphones, or probably more than likely I've got an audio box coming out of here. Headphones are plugged into that, speakers are plugged into that. When I'm done working on the headphones, I flip the switch on the speakers, listen to it through the audio box, see if it sounds good, and if it does, we're good to go. So you don't need to have that tower with the speakers hooked into that. You could have the speakers hooked into this, obviously, and basically get the same exact effect. So there you go, guys.